Alright guys, this is, while I have a voice, a quick explanation of one or two problems for kind of the same stuff you'll be doing with Mrs. Thornton, but in case you haven't had her yet or it didn't make sense or something like that, I'll go through one or two, and it should be something that that I think you have on your paper for her as well. So that's using quadratics to solve for length or width of a rectangle. So this is kind of the first time I'm trying to draw on the screen thing, so hopefully it goes well. So just bear with me if there's some technical difficulties. So it says the width of a rectangle is 6 units less than the length. So for each of these problems, you just have to define either width or length as x. The other one's going to be based off that, the one with more description basically. So width is 6 units less than the length. So well, if the length's x, then this is going to be just x minus 6 to get 6 less. Now with area, I'm going to have a feeling you guys are going to get Rocket's tail over the screen there. Yeah, maybe you'll hear him, we'll see. I'm leaving that in. Length times width is area of a rectangle. Come here, buddy. Come here. Okay, we'll see if we'll hang out for a minute. So area is length times width for a rectangle, so your length and then your width equals, it tells us the area is 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually multiply those together and distribute. Voice is going here. X times negative 6 is negative 6x, and then all in the same step we're going to subtract that 7 over, so we have equals 0. Here's where you're going to need to do the factoring. So it looks like this one, there's no GCF, it's 3 terms, there's nothing in front of the x squared, so we know it is product sum. So we're going to have 2 sets of parentheses, both with an x. Now this sign is what we use right here, so we know it's a minus. But this one tells us if they're the same or different, and that says they're different, so it's got to be a plus. So two numbers that multiply to get negative 7, but add to get negative 6, well, that's just going to be a negative 7 and a positive 1. And then remember, technically what you're doing is setting each of those equal to 0. Whoops. X plus 1 equals 0, and then you're just moving the number over, so we're adding the 7 over to get x equals 7, subtracting the 1 to get x minus x equals negative 1. Let me see. Whoops. Well, there it goes. Ignore that. X equals, it'll be a negative 1. Ignore all that. I don't know how to erase on here yet. So you have two numbers, 7 and negative 1. So one of those is your length, but which one? So think about if you were using, like your rectangle is like a fence in your yard. So there he is. Think about like a fence in your yard, and you had a bunch of wood and you were making it. You can't have a piece of wood that's negative 1 feet long or foot long. You can't have a negative width. Okay, he's done. So you're going to have to use the 7 there. So 7 is your length. So up here, if it asks for width in this one, but if it asks for length, that'd be your 7. If it asks for width, you just plug it in. 7 minus 6 equals 1. So in this case, 7 minus 6 equals 1. We know to use that number because it wants width. And again, like I said, if it asks for length instead, so just make sure you're reading the question. you would just use the 7 as your answer. I'll keep it there because I think Rocket's going to do another trip around the camera here, so hopefully that makes sense. I would love it if you guys had that finished for Tuesday, but if you have specific questions, feel free to ask me or shoot me an email, but I definitely prefer you not use just, I don't know, so I didn't try it. Give it a shot. Watch the help videos. Look at some examples. You guys can figure it out. Alright, good luck. Bye.